All right, so good evening, everyone. Okay. Feels like we are talking to ourselves today.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Some days are slow.
Okay. So, Gerard, thank you so much for joining in. Our topic for tonight is the pros and cons of African parenting. Or we have another listener. Thank you for joining. So, we'll be discussing the intricacies of this style of parenting, and we'll just be dissecting the approach that parents take in this part of the world to raising their children. I hope everybody's well.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So, Nini, I like to start. Mm,
Okay.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on African parenting or Nigerian parenting as the case may be? What do you think about it?
Uh, to be honest, I think
I'm
I want to
sorry,
say
sorry for cutting you, Nini.
yeah.
Gerard and I can't really see this other person's name. He's saying, if you wish to contribute or say you can just request to speak, I'll gladly grant your request. And so, Nini, back to you. Sorry for cutting you short.
Yeah. That's fine. So the whole cause of African parenting is really I don't want to say it is weird, but it is a very strict way of parenting, and rightfully so, because I feel like the reason why African parenting is so strict is because there is like a lot to do when you look at it generally. So it's almost like they don't have so much time to and the patience. So I feel like African parenting lacks a lot of patience. You can tell that African parenting lacks a lot of patience. That is one characteristics of the African parenting style. There is like no little to no patience at all because there is just like a lot to do and one child cannot be stressing you, especially when you like have 6 kids. So there's like little to no attention for you to equally put or invest in each child. So it's always like very harsh and all of that. So so that's my old thoughts on African parenting. I would say it's definitely a harsh way of
All right, Nini. So from what you said now, you are telling me that
just
African
one way
parenting.
of parenting, one very weird way of parenting, very distinct way of parenting, if I must say.
So what you are saying is African parenting lacks patience. Number one,
What did
right?
you say? What did you say?
I said what you are saying now is African parenting or the style of parenting lacks patience. They don't have patience.
Yeah, there is such a lack of patience for in the African parenting style. Like no patience at all. If you do anything, it is blah. It is slap on your face. So yes,
All right. So Toyin, thank you, Nini. Toyin.
yes, I can hear you.
So what are your thoughts on the African parenting style?
Well, I my own thought is that I feel African parenting just emphasize on strong family beliefs, respect, values and discipline. Like you might feel that their style is very strict, but to me that is what actually helps a lot of us now. If parents are not strict when it comes to African parents, I like the way they train their child. If you check other countries, you see that some child will do some things and you yourself you'll be asking yourself that can this why would this child be doing this to the parents? But you can't try that in Nigeria. You get so it's African parenting teach us moral values, respect, like disciplines, responsibility and all. Seriously, I actually like African parenting. I support that.
Okay.
It's not about
If you
that strictness actually help us today.
okay. So you're saying children in Africa don't act up. They don't talk back to their parents or because they are using that as a yardstick.
The thing is, before you see a child talk back to a parent, now, like if the parents are disciplined, let me talk about being strict. You notice that strict parents, when it comes to African parenting, children don't get to talk back to their parents when their parents are strict, when they are disciplined. They will be scared. It's not as if they are putting that fear in them, but it's part of the way they bring up the child. and it's part of discipline. Because let me train up a child in the way it should go, so that he will not depart from it. So it is the way you teach your child that the child will go. So I don't feel the way we just feel like African parents are just free, they are this, they are that. They are using it to help us. If they are not like that, a lot of child will just turn to something else. Seriously.
So talking back to your parents is always a bad thing. Do you feel like children should not be able to express their opinions?
They should, but not like I said when I started. I said African parenting actually teaches us how to respect moral values and others. So when you want to talk to your parents, you talk to them. Okay, it can be after all the whatsoever they talk to you about. You can go and meet them and talk to them. That's one of the things African parents teach you: moral values, respect, how to talk to them, not in a harsh tone. Oh, mommy, this thing you're saying, I cannot agree. It's very wrong. So if you see a child that the parents are disciplined, there is this fear in the child that I cannot do this, I can't even try it. So I actually support the way African parents, like the way they actually nurture their child and everything. So I want to ask Mimi question. You said African parents are too strict, like streetness. Well, you said something about streets. I don't understand what you are trying to say. Are you trying to say they is it when they are talking to their children, when they are disciplining them, or what? Because I don't feel African parenting are actually strict. They are just trying to help those students so that they will not turn to something else. Because if you don't train up your child like that when she's still young, how do you expect her to be when she grows up?
So the question is directed at Nini Abi.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I think yes. So basically what I mean by strict, did I was it strict I used? I
said harsh.
I said harsh, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So I said harsh. So it is very much quite different from being strict. It is
So what do you mean by harsh?
okay, so I'm coming to that. So basically the whole concept, there's like no patience. I mentioned that there is almost no little to no patience when it comes to African parenting. And I might want to like slightly agree with what somebody said on Twitter, saying that African parenting is actually beating your kids is actually a lazy way of parenting. It is not like don't beat your kids, but at least at some stage you should be able to explain to a child this thing that they are doing, these are the consequences. You don't just like hit a child or just shout at a child. And one thing I said again was that I feel like the whole reason for this harshness, the shouting, everything originated from the fact that they had too many children to train. So there was no possible way for them to give everybody one person after the other like special attention and get to know their child. Just give everybody the same method. And so far it looks as if it's working. And when you say that if not, some children will become something else. I don't know. I recently we've seen people from very, very strict households, and they are even the worst. And an example of those kind of kids are the people from Deeper Life homes. If you know what Deeper Life used to be like 15, 10 years ago, it was a very, very strict parenthood. They don't even have things like TV. But yet, if you look at the kids that they have today, some of them are even atheists. So that one is in regards to religion. But when I'm talking about the discipline, I'm talking about them not having things like see. So they were not even able to see the things that maybe Western kids are doing. They were not able to talk back at their parents. But then you see them now completely wayward because they were very burnt out from that kind of lifestyle from when they were young. They had to resort to a completely different lifestyle when they grew up. So yes, one African parenting is good because it's very quick and very straight to the point. But then also it can also be very I don't know. It can also be very it can I don't know how to put this. It can also make you not know your child properly is what I'm trying to say. So you don't get to know
Well, I actually disagree with you when you talk about the way other countries, I mean foreigners actually train their child, you can talk back to your parents. Do you know
Why
that?
did I say that? Is that what I said? I don't
Like
think I ever said that. I said that
you were
I was saying, wait, history. I was saying that in terms of I was saying that in terms of watching TV, if you take a look at the deeper life people, in terms of watching TV, so they don't necessarily know what the Western kid is doing, what the Western child is doing. And I did not say anywhere that they were talking back at their kids. They don't necessarily know what the Western child is doing. So they are strictly only exposed to the African way of parenting and they still turn out to be something else.
okay. Do you support children talking back to their parents, exchanging words with their parents? Okay, your parent is trying to correct you or do this. You are now. Do you support that?
I believe in a way, I believe you should be able to talk to your child. There should be some form of respect between the parents and the child. But I also believe that there should be room for expression, especially when the child is grown, especially when the child is like a teenager. And sometimes we all know there are times that we try to explain things to our parents, and then a woman will shout, "Why are you talking back at me?" And then you keep quiet. So it's not you I'm talking to. So um the talking back thing is very, very subjective because you have to define what's talking back. Because talking back in an African household is very, very, in fact, it's very, very different. It's not the way you would expect talking back to be. It doesn't you it's when even something as normal as a conversation is regarded as talking back in the African home. So if it is a conversation between if it's a conversation between a child and a parent, I would say yes, but um, if it's like going back and forth and disrespecting your parents, outright disrespecting your parents, I don't support that.
All right, so thank you, Nini. Toma is here. Toma, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. So we are talking African parenting. So the question is, what are your thoughts on African parenting or the Nigerian style of parenting?
I'm going to say, also everybody experience their parents in certain ways. We can't really judge from my parents and other people's parents, but most of the majorities that we've seen, I'll say that they were really harsh or they are harsh. And some of those things they did in order to like straighten up was like they were so unnecessary. But then maybe they felt that like that was the right way for them to go about it, or maybe because they were not very much like educated on things. And sometimes it felt like they didn't even want children and it would just happen. So
Obviously.
yeah, like the way some parents treat their children is as if they didn't even plan for them, like they didn't even want to have them. It just happened. And you just have to like keep managing themselves like
Okay, so we are all agreeing that the African style of parenting is strict or harsh, as Nini said.
also it was harsh, like it was really harsh. Yeah.
Okay, if it was harsh, but does it work? That type of parenting work?
I'll say based on the I think based on the trend we saw on Twitter and for certain people, they said it really helped them position in life and all of that. And some they turn out really terrible. So I'll say we can't really say because some people it helped them, but other people they really like came out really bad.
But there was also this lady trending on Twitter. I don't know. I think she's Southern African. I don't know the country. That said her parents, the style of parenting traumatized her and such and such and such. And people were calling her. They called her a whole sort of names like entitled. Do you think it worked out in her own case?
For her own case, I watched the video. I was still her parent. That was pure wickedness. I felt like maybe they didn't want to have children. Like they just did it out of I don't know. They just did it out of whatever because it was wickedness. Because why would you even expose an 8 years old child, take them to a prison? Like how would you even break their rights? Like how would you even beat them to the point where you have to like injure them? Like it is pure wickedness and hatred.
Okay, so Nini, you have your hand up.
So I just wanted to add on what Thomas said in regards to taking your kids to prison. And this is one of the ways that I say that the African parenting style is very harsh, and everything just boils down to them not having enough time to know their kids and know their kids individually. For example, you can have 6 kids. There are two, four. I mean, four is doing like really, really well, and then two are not doing so well. And maybe out of that two, one is very stubborn. One is very stubborn. Is not necessarily so intelligent in school, all of that. And then there is the second one that probably steals, that has like kleptomania and all of that. You will see that where the African parents tends to result those kind of things is to take them to prison, just to, yeah, the attempt, the idea behind it is to be able to teach them a lesson. But in my opinion, I feel like it's very harsh because it, prison is not where children should be. My mom was telling me about a case where this guy is grown and then he stole something, and then the father took him to the police station and told the policemen to beat him up until the guy died. So those people beat him to the extent that, because the man was like, beat him very well, let him learn his lessons. So I think that is one of the harsh things I'm talking about when it comes to African parenting. And this is actually directed to Tony. I'm building on what Thomas said and I'm directing it to Tony.
All right, before we have to Tony reply you said something about kleptomania and them taking them to prison. So if in this scenario that you painted now, what would you have the parent do? What other style do you think they can do instead of taking them to prison? What other way can they solve the issue?
I think by now we know that then I would say it was a time of ignorance. Right now we know that kleptomania, it's not something it's not just something out of the ordinary. It's more like a mental issue, because the person does not really intend to steal, but they just find themselves stealing most of the times, even when they know it's like bad. It's almost like they cannot help themselves. So basically it's like a very tricky case, because we've seen times and times again that the prison thing has never worked. It has never worked. It will never work. In some cases, funny enough, not to defend, not to even defend it this time around, there are cases that that they took a child to prison, and from then on the child did not misbehave again. But maybe because maybe the child did not misbehave as a result of trauma or learning their lesson. But I feel like in terms of kleptomania, real kleptomania, children should, other methods should be adopted in terms of correcting the child, and probably like asking the child, or even knowing the root cause of what the problem is. But not it. Maybe you can maybe beat the child or spank the child, but I don't know. Prison is like too far. It's too far.
So knowing the root cause of the problem helps the child. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, so you are actually saying that parenting does not work, or it works to a certain level.
Yeah, it works to a certain level, basically.
Okay, so I'm telling you, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, so you had something to say.
Yes, I would just say that African parenting actually prioritizes discipline. Like, that's just what they are trying to do. They're trying to make sure that, okay, this child is disciplined, he or she goes on this way, so that at the end of the day, he or she will become something better in life. She will not live a wayward life. I understand that sometimes the child might not actually go the way the parent want it to go. It is because apart from beating, apart from talking to your child, there are ways that you teach your child, which African parenting actually does. I don't know if our parents do that. Apart from beating your child, you can actually talk to the child. You're talking about deeper life, that they live a wayward life at last, they turn to bad this and that. The thing is, a lot of parents they believe that, okay, the only thing I want to do is I must beat this child. If I don't beat this child, he will not have that fear in him or her. So it doesn't work like that, and it's not all African parents that actually does that. See, there is room for beating, there is room for teaching your child, educate your child on what is wrong, and educate your child on what is right. So me, I actually feel that African parenting actually prioritizes discipline. If you check anyone, if you check them people well, they will tell you that it is actually what their parents actually does to them, like the discipline that help them till now. Like I can boldly say 70% of people will say that if our parents are not disciplined and they are not strict to some extent, it will actually affect us. That's just it. That's just the emphasis I will keep on making, that they actually prioritize it.
All right, Tony, we hear you. Toma, you have your hand up.
Okay, what I'm going to say that I think the whole problem started with, I feel like when our parents got married, most of them were not mentally ready to have children. I feel like this is the topic we don't talk about. Like when you say, oh, you don't want children or you don't want to have children, people keep saying, oh, God forbid, you must have children. Don't say like that. And if you say you don't want children, you will not have children. So I just felt like people were not allowed to have that conversation, saying mentally, I am not ready to have children. And just because they got married, the next step, I feel like all Africans, we follow a pattern, go to school, after school, get a job, get married, have children, and it goes like that and like that and like that. So I feel like after marriage, the next thing on the list, or what they've given us, assigned to us, was for them to have children. And some of them were not ready mentally. And when they started having children, they could not even understand where these things are coming from because they are not even enlightened. There were no educations, like talks, on there were no, like, what do you call it, materials to help them understand children, or there were not enough information. So any little thing that we did as children, because we are children, we are going to take all the anger on us. And if you notice that the people that were really intentional, like parents, some African parents were really intentional about having children, and the way they trained their children, you could see that these people were intentional and they tried as much as they could to understand their children. They tried so much to, like, talk to them nicely because they know that, okay, this is how children act. But your own parent that maybe didn't want children, and at the end of the day, they got through all the anger, frustration. They have to feed themselves, they have to feed you, they have to clothe you, and they had to, like, imagine that, oh, because they do all these things, your head is supposed to be straight and you're supposed to do everything. Like, some children were just 8 years old. Like, how do you imagine an 8 years old child to pay attention? Like, they are kids. So that's why I was, if I'm getting parents. Yes.
All right, sorry for cutting you. You are saying the all of it stems from not wanting children, the anger and frustration from not actually wanting children. That's where
they didn't want children, but they could not voice it out because I don't feel like people just woke up one morning and started having children because they really wanted children, but because it is their whole pattern that they have to follow, and they'll say, oh, because you're, like, sorry, let me just take an example now. Let's say my mom is like, oh, I gave birth to your elder sister when I was 20 and now you're almost 25. Why don't you have children? But then mentally, I am not prepared to have a child. Let's imagine I had a child in between all of this. Imagine the frustration, thinking that, oh, maybe I would have had, like, a different life. Then I have another child to be with me. Like, they stay with you forever and they don't leave you. So it's so much on them too.
all right. Thank you. Nini, do you agree that most times when your parents spank you or correct you the African way, it mostly stems from them, the anger and frustration of not being ready to have kids or children?
Yes. So like Thomas said, so it's just like a pattern. You grow up, you walk a little, and then you look matured, even though you're not matured up there, and then you have kids. So there is, like, in fact, the purpose of marriage is to have kids. It's not actually like for companion and all those things that we're saying. In terms of African way, it's actually to have kids. So African parents are not necessarily, even though it looks as if they've been preparing for it from when they are young, they are still not prepared, and or they are not properly prepared. And this spanking thing it's basically out of frustration. Imagine that, even though that the economy is worse, imagine that you are paying this child's school fees, like you are just pushing money into this child, and then the child. I remember one time that like I became 12. I think it was like a class of 20. I was about 12.
Oh, God. Maybe I don't know how to share this here.
So yeah, it's not like there's been lots of frustration. Me, personally, I don't necessarily think it's out of love. I think it's out of frustration. Like they are frustrated. Imagine your boss has been shouting at you the whole week. You're at the edge of losing your job, and then one child just come home, and then it's 19/20. Like, hey, Jesus, that child, in fact.
So, Nini, my problem here is that you are saying every time someone said you should not use the word spank again, so I'm going to use whoop. So you're telling me every time your parents whooped you as a kid, it was from a place of anger, frustration, not that they genuinely wanted to correct you. That's what I'm trying to get.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there are sometimes they wanted to correct me, but I feel like most times I wasn't necessarily a troublesome kid. So when I do it was like, are you a goat? So it was not about frustration, yeah. Most times, more often than not, it is out of frustration. Because to be honest, kids will test you. Those tiny humans, they will test you. So most times it's out of frustration because they are children. Sometimes they know what's right and they just choose to do things out of like, I don't know. I don't want to say it's stupidity, but they just do like these wild things. So it's basically out of frustration, not yeah, there is like the this thing to correct them, but the frustration is like the major ingredient in this whole mix.
Okay, interesting. So I'm starting to get you now. And from all of this now, I get the African style of parenting, and then you are saying gentle parenting. Let's go into gentle parenting because that's what you prefer. Do you think gentle parenting works?
And so we've seen time and time again that gentle parenting works. They are the children. Yes, I'm with you.
No, I said really. Have we seen time and time again that gentle parenting works?
Yes, I to be honest, I believe that some of this, like, we've seen white kids that are very respectful, very disciplined, and their parents never like hit them. There were other like disciplinary measures. Tony was saying that the African parenting prioritize discipline. You can also prioritize discipline without
So let me quickly cut you short there. You said we've seen white kids that are gentle. Have you not seen African kids that are gentle and respectful and all of these things that you said?
No, in the context at which I was saying that is that the African parenting is harsh and the white parenting is gentle. So I'm saying that with gentle parenting, we've seen kids that are very respectful. So that shows you that gentle parenting could actually work. As against what people are saying that if you are very soft on your child, the child will not have sense, that kind of thing. So that is what I'm saying.
Okay.
So parenting definitely works. It just depends on how you approach it. Children, you cannot be too hard with them. Children are like butterfly. If you hold them too tight, the butterfly will die. If you leave them, the butterfly will go away. So that is the way. So you have to like hold them properly, not too tight, not too loose. And it is better if you hold them towards the you do it towards gentleman rather than being very harsh. So that's like
cool. All right, so I feel like this is a rhetorical question, but I will still ask you nonetheless. So are you for or against gentle parenting?
Am I against it?
For or against it?
I'm more for it. I'm for it.
You are for it. All right. Tony, I know you are itching to speak. Tony, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
So now, obviously, you're for harsh parenting or whatever African parenting is.
I
now-
don't gentle parenting. I don't.
You never let me ask my question. Gentle parenting versus African parenting. Which one are you for? And give us reasons why you are for or against it.
Okay, I don't support gentle parenting because I feel that these children, especially when it comes to this generation, like these children that they are just being birth now, they need thorough discipline. Seriously, if you are just if you use that method, gentle parenting, to train a child, you will actually use it. You put it in the strategy you want to use to train your child, definitely. But if you use gentle parenting as the old strategy, it won't work. Like, it will actually affect the child because number one, that discipline will not be there. That discipline, that fear that okay, I can't do this thing because I know my mom or my dad will be mad at me, or they will beat me for doing this. I know if I do this
So is that fear a good thing or a bad?
it's a good thing. It's a good thing in the right way. It's a good thing. For instance, me like this, when I was young, there's this fear in me that I cannot do this thing because my dad. Hey, it's actually good. It's really good because when a child fears his or her parents, the child will not be able to do some things because he or she knows that when I get home, this is what will happen to me. Do you understand? And even if we are using the African parenting method, the street method, we should try actually do it in love. I just feel everything should be in love. If it is in love, seriously, I support African parenting. If everything we are doing is in love, you see this gentle parenting, a lot of child will just spoil. See, we are seeing a lot of them now in this generation.
Spoil like
Like they will just they will just live a world life. They will turn to something else. That's just it. Because that fear is not in them that okay, there's this thing I cannot do. Like there is no there is no rules, there is no this discipline that is actually that they there's no discipline that the parents has actually given to the child. Just okay, African gentle parents is just like you advising your child, telling your child this is good, telling your child this is bad. Without just only that, in this generation, without using our own parent method, like no, I don't support that. I don't support.
so the only way that works is the African way of parenting.
Yes, with love. Correcting your child in love. Yes, when you add love, African parenting it actually work. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Toyin. Tuma, do you agree with Toyin? And what are your thoughts on gentle parenting versus African style?
And like Nini said that we should try and understand our child. Yeah. But if my child is stubborn, I'm going to resort to African parenting because I cannot have a child. I cannot have a child that will be bigger than me in my house. So yeah. But normally I'll
Sorry, why do you not want to have a copy?
like an okra cannot be bigger than the planter. So if you are gentle, I'm going to give you all the gentle love. But then if you are tough, like you are bulls, I'm going to show you I'm actor.
I don't
So, but anyway,
think like you're supporting African parents. Is it all African parents that resort to whoopings all the time?
I'll say if we're being honest, I'll say it's not all the time. We should not forget the African parents. So they have their good sides. So aside from they have their bad side, they also have their good side. I believe that they want well for us, and in their own way, they felt like discipline us with beating, slaps, and the rest would work. And then we should not forget that there are some African parents that don't really spank their kids, but they talk. Like, and that talking can be so crazy. Like they don't beat you, but they talk for a very long period of time, maybe like 2-3 days. They keep repeating same thing. Like that it can be so crazy. Like imagine you failing your exam and you
You
cannot.
mean shaming you into just being,
Yes,
especially if you do something wrong, just shaming you.
yeah. So it's that one is I'll say it's traumatizing. It brings down your self-esteem. We could say, it is gentle parenting because they are not spanking them, but mentally it is not. So
When I remember, I was number 12. I think they called me like 12 months. And then the next term, instead of me to do better, but it's not good. Oh my god. Oh my god. And I was 19. I mean,
they're supposed to beat you. Like they're coconut head for enter.
and I had to get to my teachers, and I had to like cancel the work. So, so when don't you think you deserved it? Whatever they did to you after. It was really bad. And you're out there defending gentle parenting. No, wait, in my defense, like that was 19.
the students in my class were already too much, so I could not take the pressure.
So you mean? So we have Ikenzie here. Ikenzie, hi. Ikenzie, can you hear me?
Hello, I can hear you.
Okay, so
Good evening.
all right. Good evening.
Yeah.
Yes, so you want to lend your voice?
I don't have, actually have anything to say, but I came late. It's from what I could gather. So the whole discussion is is it either gentle parenting or African parenting? For me, I was brought up with African parenting, and right from time I've never had issues with it. But I know there are some times when it gets so extreme. But one thing I know most African parents do is they prioritize the aspect of discipline, and that's not a bad thing. But one thing they don't normally do when the child does good, you rarely see parents that go as far as they do when it comes to discipline. You know, when it comes to discipline, they go far enough to discipline that child. But when the child does good, they don't go that far. They can just say well done or something. So if this discipline is being done on children, they should always try to let the child know, okay, this is the reason why I'm doing this. This is the reason why this is this. This is the reason why you shouldn't do this. This is the reason why you should do this. I don't know if I get what I'm saying. So there should
I get you.
yeah, there should be a way of making the child understand the consequences of his or her actions she gets. And another thing I was
And like there should be rewards for both. Like if you are rewarding me for bad behavior, when I do something good, you should reward me too.
exactly. Then another thing, there is nothing wrong in gentle parenting also. I believe the method you use in training up your child is also determined by the environment you stay in. There are some children that are really scared. That thing you think is gentle parenting to you, there are some children you do that to them and they get so scared of I've heard of children where they say, okay, go to that corner, that's your, I think it's a lonely corner, I don't know what they call it, something like that. They say stand there and the child will be scared of the
Naughty corner, naughty corner.
thank you. So they can tell a child do something as silly as imagine telling a child, Ajekmako like me, they tell me stay naughty corner. I'll still get tired. So you get, so there are some children that kind of method would be effective on. And there are some that it won't be effective on. You can't tell a stubborn child stay in a naughty corner and expect your type of parenting to be effective. So the best thing is to know what can be effective on my child. Is my child the stubborn type? Is my child the type that doesn't listen? Before you know what kind of parenting. Like if you are giving a harsh treatment to a child that is very gentle, a child that doesn't give issues, it looks so extreme. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So it's just up to the parent to know, okay, what works and for your child and go with that. There's nothing wrong in both type of parenting to me.
All right. So let's talk about Lini's case now. Do you think that after she got 12 the first time and she came back the next time with 19, if they had told her to go and stand in the naughty corner, would that have had any effect on her?
That wouldn't have had an effect because it's something has to do with her education. In naughty corner, how does it help her to do well? It's just to I don't know. Linear life, it depends on the type of child linear life. And I heard her saying she was not a naughty kid, or how did she say it? Say she wasn't a disturbing.
Stubborn. She said stubborn.
That's the story. I know linear life very well. She's
So because I was about to say that too, so Nini will never admit that she's stubborn.
story.
Let's hear from her parents.
I don't know. I don't know what you people personally. I think my stubbornness was that
Personally,
my stubbornness was that up until when I was a teenager. So it was just like a lot of.
You may try out. I know Tuition was more stubborn, but the just saying about it was I think it's just but you see you and Tuition, you guys don't look like someone who is the gentle.
Children, just because you know me doesn't mean to embarrass me. It's how many people here. So because you know me doesn't mean to embarrass me in front of how many people here.
You are not embarrassed yet.
No, why are you talking about me like that?
Yeah, and they brought it up there. They asked, okay,
All right.
the naughty type of parenting.
It was just for me. I feel like it was just a lot of back talking. It wasn't like it wasn't like a regular teenager problem.
I don't think I don't think the whole treatment and the I think spanking and all when you got that kind of position in class was because of your position also. It's well, I mean, because of frustration, as you said, or something. I don't know how you said it, but I think it's in a way, though. In a way, it's likely. I can't really say because I don't know the way.
It's frustration. Imagine, see, after that small you know, I told you that I had to like cancel the ones so that my dad.
Sorry, you had what?
Because
Sorry.
Huh?
She canceled the one. She removed the one for it.
Yeah. So I removed the one for me to make my situation less bad. And when I got to my life, he beat me for that bed. You might go on with my thing. So they were definitely putting me out of frustration. Yeah, I know that it was not frustration, but I don't know.
See, another
Imagine if it was now, they keep
thing is it. Nigerian parents, I don't know. The belief they have in beating is so, I don't know, it's so serious. They think beating or at times solves most of all the things. Personally, I'm not in support of how bad the child is doing. Beating won't help the child. It's just to, with love, trying to give the child a direction on how to go about it, giving him the mental health and everything he will need for his education. Beating, how does beating help a child? So I don't know. So it's just Nigerian African parents, and that's their mentality. They tend to beat when you come back with such a result. And so, yeah, you can call it frustration, you can call it a mass of love. It's 50-50. The beating.
Oh, no, that's right. Bless her. Finish.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or not, if it was my dad, you would sit down and meet like 1 o'clock every night. Like he's going to purposely be awake for you to sit down and like, and then I'll be sleeping or those of you. See, are you okay?
My dad made me do that, but the only thing is that what I was reading was like current affairs. I wasn't really reading serious.
I remember one time that I and my friend we fought in school and they asked us to go and kneel down in the principal's office. But we played in that principal office. Imagine telling us to go in the lonely corner. You're taking like what?
Right. So what Thomas just said brings me to my next question. Because if you are saying that African parenting doesn't work, just because they don't get some aspects right, is that enough for us to cancel the whole style of parenting and say, "Oh, this doesn't work," or we can take learnings from it and go with that?
So I feel like at the end of the day, what I would say is that the real litmus test at the end of the day is to see how the child is after they had grown up. That will allow you to know whether that style of African parenting worked for that particular child or not. So the problem is that they trained like 3-4 kids, right? And 2 of them turns out, really well because of that style of African parenting. But then at the same time, that last one did not turn out well because of that same style of, even though they were treated the same way. Maybe that particular one had usually like had issues. The person is unable to stand up for his or herself because of the intimidation during. So I don't say that at the end of the day, the whole thing just boils down to individual child. I don't have kids yet, but from what we've seen, it just boils down to individual child. It's not necessarily we can't
Don't answer my question. Like, what's the right of African style of parenting? Just because they made some mistakes.
So we should keep like little bits of it. For example, the whooping can stay because, to be honest, if my child comes back home with 12, oh my God, like that whooping has to occur because that whooping must come because how dare you waste my money, to be honest. So we need to like keep some part of it, like very, very little bits of it, like the whooping, the very dirty looks, those kind of looks that your mom gives you when you do stuff. Yeah, the whooping, dirty looks like that. So we can keep like little bits of it. But that talk, I think that talk needs to go away because sometimes they just like say things and say things and say things and say things and they just over talk. So the whooping and the dirty looks can stay, but that talk, we need to reduce it. Why did you give my brother Mike? Don't let him expose me.
Oh God, this that is for exposing Nene. Right, so let me go to Toyin. Toyin, you are for the African style of parenting with the whole discipline and everything. So do you think there are some parents still in this Africa that practice gentle parenting?
Yes, I think they are, but I've not seen one.
Okay, so you've never had anyone around you that
Yes.
does gentle parenting.
No.
So now you are saying we need to carry on with our parents' way, the way they taught us. But do you think that we should have? Let me finish the. Do you think there should be a manual to parenting? Because if you are saying, "Oh, I support this 100%," that means there's a manual that you want to be following. And I was
No.
growing up, my dad did this. I also want to do this.
No. The thing is, I've not seen gentle parenting, but I've actually I've seen online and see a lot of things online about it, and read books on that. So the reason why I said gentle parenting doesn't pay is like it's not really okay. It's okay if you know, if you actually train your child well, and he or she go in line with what you have taught her, and at the end of the day the child is disciplined. It's good. But if the child is a black and is from Nigeria, Africa, you cannot use gentle parenting, only gentle parenting, to teach, because there's no way the child will mix with other children. That's just it. The child will mix with other children. A lot of things will happen. Even there will be some bad behaviors that he or she will learn from outside and will bring it home. And even if the child will know that, okay, my mom will just tell me this is bad, it's not good, that's all. She will not do anything. She is not saying. Like, you keep on telling your child, it's not good, it's not this, it's not that, and still, that's the only thing she knows that you will do. Last, my mommy cannot beat me. After then, my mommy cannot do anything. There's nothing she will do. She will just tell me that I should not do this, I should not do that. In this Nigeria, you want to train your child like that, it doesn't work. I'm not saying that we should follow our parent pattern, but at least our own in this our own century, like this generation Gen Z, let's incorporate African parenting and gentle parenting together, not going with gentle parenting only. It doesn't work. When it comes to a child, and the child is in Nigeria and is going to mix with other children, you get what I'm trying to say? It doesn't work.
All right. So now you're saying gentle parenting and African parenting should together take learnings from the both of them. Nini, you have your hand up. Okay, so basically, I think the problem is that we probably doesn't know that in gentle parenting, it's not like there is no discipline. It's not like there is no punishment for the child. There is definitely punishment for the child. The child will be punished, for example, like grounding the child, like seizing their phones. These are like punishments. So at the end of the day, gentle parenting just simply means knowing your child as an individual. Like knowing your child. It's not like you lump them all together and just lump them as kids, as your children. Like, Nini, let me quickly read out this definition of gentle parenting, so maybe you change your. Because gentle parenting, I just searched it now. Gentle parenting is an approach to raising children that prioritizes empathy, respect, understanding, and boundaries. It focuses on nurturing a strong and supportive relationship between parents and children, emphasizing communication and positive reinforcement rather than punishment or negative discipline. So there's not necessarily punishment or negative discipline,
But there's reinforcements. I think, I don't know.
so you have to like reinforce certain things for them to be able to get that this is the consequences of their actions. It's not necessarily, for example, if you are grounding a child, you are putting a child inside, like no beating, nothing. I feel like that is reinforcing enough. So, and you are, like I said, knowing your child, communicating with them to actually know who they are. But I don't think it's a complete
absence of discipline. Of course, they have to be like punished for some things, or they have to be restricted for some from some things. So that's basically what I think.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I can say I had his hand up, but I think his network is acting up. Yeah. Okay. So, Thomas,
Yeah, I'm here.
do you think there should be a manual to parenting?
I just feel like there's no manual because I feel like people come online and say, "Oh, African parenting is terrible" and all of that. But then, have you seen these kids? Have you seen African kids? Like some of them, they are really terrible. I've been in a situation where I used to have this family. I won't say I used to have, but I used to know this family where the parents. Are you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, the parents, I'll say they were well learned, like they were graduates. I think the father was a doctor, the mom was a teacher, and they were very easy on their child. Like at times, my mom would like compare me to the child, and just like few years after, like they were really terrible. Like they talk back at their parents, they start acting weird, they misbehave and all of that. So I feel like you should know your child because I think I'm for African parenting because these kids they can be so disrespectful and I don't know, maybe they do it like maybe I think I don't know how they feel when they do these things, but can be very disrespectful. And the moment you talk to them, they feel like, oh, because you have not beaten them means that you cannot beat them when you're not higher than them. So I am from African parents, and like I'm going to give you the bombastic side eyes. I'm going to throw my slippers at you. I'm going to use on stick. I want to use all of that. So for African parenting, yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Nini, I know you say something, but let me quickly ask you this question. We are trying to get to stay true to our 1 hour band. So, this question, I want to talk about maybe roles that parents play in relationship with their children. Most times mothers are the nurturers and they're the ones that are, showing love and attention, while your father is just person making money and, the enforcer in the house. If you do anything wrong, your father is not that is going to come and discipline you. Do you think that making money, providing for the family, and being an enforcer is enough role that the father plays in the home?
I'll say it's not enough. It's not enough. Because you I don't know, it's not enough. And we can see it that even people that we see people nowadays that they had like their father was always there to provide, but yet they still have like this very strained relationship with their dad because they felt like they didn't have that relationship and then they found it very difficult to connect with them when they became adults. So it's not enough. It's not enough to just provide, come and spank the child, then go back again. So you have to also like get to know the child, have like some relationship with the child, bond with the child, things like that basically. So it's the whole providing thing and just getting out of their face is not enough. I mean, of course, the father is doing a great job, but you also need to be able to like pay attention to the child. Okay, we've tried this method in terms of discipline. What else can work? So that is basically what I think. So just providing and spanking them, then getting out of their face is not enough.
All right. Mackenzie.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I guess your question was the father providing is that enough as a father?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't think that's enough. They also have a level of discipline they have to take responsibility of. A father also has to discipline his child, even though he won't be around throughout the whole day or something. But
Is it discipline and provided as just enough?
is it what? Sorry.
I'm saying just is discipline and providing enough?
When it comes to parenting, there are a lot of things that it involves, not just disciplining your child or providing. So there are a lot of things. So it basically is not enough. There are still other things the father needs to take care of.
Well, you agree that most fathers, especially in Nigeria or Africa in general, are just there for provision and to enforce discipline.
Not. I was okay. Generally, let me say majorly. Yeah, that's true. Well, it's not always like that.
Yeah, major.
Majorly, yeah. Mutually, it's more of when it comes to the child itself and the upkeep, the disciplining and everything. It's mostly towards the mother's side, but
Yeah.
there are some homes where it's somehow different. Yeah,
All right, but we should not have roles to play as parents. Everybody should be hands on,
sure,
mother and father.
sure.
All right, so we are trying to keep to our 1 hour. We don't want. We know most people are stressed and they like to rest, so we don't want to take so much of their time. So to round up this space tonight, we just like anybody that wishes to talk, Sha, about an unforgettable memory that you had about your parents disciplining you. I want to start with Nini because she has many. Nini, please share one memory with us.
What memory of what?
Your parents and discipline, the one you can never forget.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's this number 9 and number 12 position, number 19. That is really like the. Oh yeah, it's the mug I've been carrying all this number. I just feel like everything that happened with my parents is based on like maybe academic. It's not like I feel like my history of academics is not so smooth. Sometimes I'm doing really well, like very well, and teachers are commending me, and then the next semester I'm down. Like so, I don't know. I think it's just basically based on like the overall. I think that's like what I've had.
What you are saying now, is that not gentle parenting? They didn't even really whoop you like that.
And I didn't whoop him because I wasn't stubborn. I wasn't a stubborn girl.
Okay. Toma.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, so share your story with us.
I have many.
Name one memorable one.
Okay, one time like that, so it was Christmas. So our family ritual for Christmas is that after maybe morning, we're going to like wash the whole plates in the house. Then we're going to prepare the chicken, and then we'll start cooking. That's like the morning rituals for Christmas. So apparently, we packed all the plates outside. I and my brother. I know we saw my neighbor was like, he wants to throw a party, that he wants to go and park chair, and the chair is like very far from us, that whether we should follow them. We now left the place and entered the bus and we left. We didn't even tell our parents anything. After how many hours they're looking for us to come and wash plates, where we're packing chairs. So we came to the house then. They flogged us. But thank God, they used to beat me like that. It's my brother that used to carry the blame. So I just ran outside. I was not holding chicken for my mom to cut it belly. I put my brother inside.
Happy to you now.
Another one again is that I'm going to steal meat. Like maybe if there's meat in the pot, I'm going to steal like meat. Like maybe if it's like 2, I'll steal one into wear one. If they ask me who take the meat, I'll say it's not me, that is my brother. But then he doesn't say it's not the one. It means that he took meat since he's not denying it. So he's going to take the fall. He doesn't, he doesn't say he's not the one. Like he doesn't deny me. If I say he's the one that took the meat, he's going to accept that he took the meat. So it means that he's also taking meat.
Tomorrow you've been hard.
She's evil. She's just evil. Please share one story with us.
Wait now. There's this last one down.
Oh, okay.
I just feel like for every, like when you don't even expect your parents to come and catch you, that's when they will just come from nowhere. Like they'll be coming normally like by 7, 8, and all of a sudden you're doing something wrong. You see your dad by 2 o'clock. Like it is so weird. So my dad used to be against us watching TV, like all these cassettes. So what we used to do is that all this Mara and Clara, then I'll pack them from school. And we have this DVD where you have to like change, because we have VCD and DVD where you like change the cords. They have this auxiliary cords where you change them. So anytime I want to watch them, I used to lock the door like with padlock. So before they come in and say, oh, if you want, I'll quickly change them before they enter inside. So so most afternoons, if my dad come like that, I'll first unlock the door, then I'll start changing them sharp. So, oh, I did so many crazy things. I did so many things as a child.
let's honestly, like, she won't take my parents, like, she should taking God, let's try off, from saving them from me, like, I'm grown up. Yeah, I did so many things. There was one afternoon that it rained, like this very like serious rain, and everywhere was flooded. I and my brother were under that rain, swimming in the rain. And my father went for a wedding party, and they came back and they saw us wet. It's that they flogged the hell out of us. And it was I think another one time I was losing money. I kept like losing my parents' money. Anytime they give me money to buy something, I really
You know, why am I not surprised?
well, okay, because I always I think it's
You're always losing things.
yeah, so I always like lose. They can give me money to buy something, and that could be like one of like like the last money we have. Imagine having like 2,000 naira, and then you give your child 1,000 naira. Go and buy this thing, no, and then your child has lost. Go and buy something 200, and then she buys something 200 and lost the change. So I did like a lot of that when I was young. So I think that's one of the reasons that I actually receive like a lot of slaps because I lost a lot of money. I lost money. In fact, if I start repaying my money today,
If you ask me, you deserve it actually. Toyi, let's quickly have you so we
Okay.
can
Okay.
right.
I can remember. I don't really have childhood experience like that. But the one I can remember was what I did to my pastor. Sorry.
Hey, good.
Okay.
You are not entering.
Okay.
So my pastor came in.
Okay. This is what happened. I'm kind of person that when I was I was stubborn, like very stubborn. So my dad is a pastor, so he do travel to different places. So he's not always around. So anytime I used to disturb my mom very well, and my mom is not strict. Like she would just say, "Don't do this, don't do that. I'll beat you." I was like, okay. She's not strict. It's only my dad that is strict. So I will. Mom will tell me, then do you do? I'll tell my mom, okay, I'll come. I'll do it. Like there's this man that is a pastor, like our neighbor. He would just be looking at me like, this girl, you are too stubborn. You today, you tomorrow. Every day in school like this, I used to fight. So the man, I think one day the man came to my house and told my mom that that my mom should look for something to do. Maybe she should go to my school and report me to my principal that I'm stubborn, I'm this, I'm that. My mommy, my mom is this SU person, like she's very reserved, like she's not disciplined. But one thing I respect about her is that what she said, see, once she's angry, I know that this woman is angry. I'll just have sense, do whatever I'm supposed to do. You understand? So I'll follow whatever she said. Okay, don't do this. But that stubbornness, God, I should go and look for trouble outside and fight. I'll do that. So the man said, okay, I will follow your child. I will go to this girl's school and embarrass her. Tell the principal that this girl is very stubborn. She used to disturb at home. She used to do this. Me that before you even think of doing something to me, I've thought of like 3 things I will use to implicate you. The man said, okay. He came to my school on the assembly ground. I was like, God, please help me. Please, I don't want my principal to talk to this man on the assembly ground. So he came and I think we finished assembly and everything. So the principal called me that I should come to his office. Because I was like, Toyin, they said you are stubborn, you used to do it. No, you actually you did this in school, you fought with this person. We were even planning to take you to police station, but because you were so small, you like fighting. So the principal said, so you are doing this thing at home. This man came to report you, and I told my principal that it's a lie. This pastor want to marry my mommy. In fact, she'll be coming to, because my daddy is not at home, he'll be coming to our house, be telling my mom bad thing. That my daddy is this, my daddy is that. She likes my mommy. This. And the man was just looking at me like this. The man said, I'm lying. I said, okay, ask him. My mommy is supposed to come to this school and report me, but my mommy did not come. Why? If I'm truly a bad person, my mommy would have come to this school and report me. This man has an ulterior motive. He likes my dad, like my mom. And I told my dad everything. If my dad is around, you ask my dad. My principal has said, hey, you are not the parent of this girl. Why do you now come and report her? Definitely what she's saying is true. As in, the man felt embarrassed. He got up like this, told my mommy that. Then she got to one river and wash my head with them. I have demonic spirit with me. They need to cast and bind me, this and that. Like, seriously, that moment, I felt somehow that, David, why do you lie? Like, this lie. But I was thinking that when my dad now came back from traveling, so my mom was reporting that, okay, this is what I did. I told my dad that, you know, this man actually insults you. He said that, where is that stupid man that gave birth to stupid child? This, and you know, my dad is very disciplined. So when the man came to report to my dad that, okay, when you're not around, this is what my dad blasts the man, like, he blasted the man, like, what's your business? It's none of your business. Don't do this to my child. I was happy, but even though I know it's wickedness, God forgive. God, it was later my dad told that, it was later. I think one day I fought in school, and I think that I had long nails, and I used my nail to injure that girl, like the face, everything. They had to stitch the girl's face, like.
So did they end up whooping you for any one of them?
So the girl parent now came to my house that they want to arrest me. My dad said, what happened? They said, look at my child face. We have to stitch this thing. Your child, this girl is vampire. She's a witch. See the way she injured our child. That she's going to police station. And I'm very small. I have small stature. So my dad was looking at me. The person that followed you said, you want to take this small girl to police station. They will reject her because she's too small. The only thing you can do is go to her school so that they will discipline her. That day, my dad now knew that everything I've been saying is a lie. He meets on the assembly ground the next day. My principal disgraced me on the assembly because of that incident that happened. That girl. In fact, it's today.
Now, sorry guys, I think we lost Toye. Are you serious right now? Mini. No. I just felt like, man. I felt like my house episode is more than my school episode because I have suffered people in this life with my stubbornness. But then we thank God that we're able to live to see another day. Okay, so thank you guys for sharing your story. I don't even think I have a story to share. But my mom literally used to beat us for everything. It was pretty loud. So there wasn't even a special beating. It was just special because every time she's beating you. So if you breathe too loud, she will beat you. I don't even have a special one. And my dad doesn't really not a very strict person, so he doesn't beat us. But so I say for the parts where you say, oh, African parent, like African fathers, that like do they have to always provide and them being available? Like I'm going to say like maybe our own fathers. I'll say that maybe because like they're more like the provider, and our moms. I won't say my mom was not doing anything, but the mothers were not really doing much. So basically, they were mostly out trying to do all the work, trying to provide. And then it felt like mostly the experience. My dad was very, very hands-on. My dad was working everything, even with the fact that he had to go to work. When he comes back, it's all about our work. It's all about if we even sleep before my dad comes back, you come and wake later. Why did you go to sleep when you have not seen me? You know, that kind of thing. So my dad was a very, very loving person. Like opposite for me in my house. And I know what the discipline I am. All I'm going to say that I feel like in both, like in African homes, they always have the strict ones and the one that is not strict, so you can or do that. Because I remember when mom was not strict, but then if you have to offend that to a certain limit where she like keep accidentally. Yes, but why that? Okay, for me generally, I'll say he was strict on me, but he wasn't like whooping my ass all the time. Like I need to like get to certain areas, like like I have they whoop me. They whoop me. I like they should hold academic discipline because there was one time I did not like blow the clock, so I couldn't tell the time. My yellow do. I couldn't tell the time. Okay, we should end at this space right now. No, what then? What? Right towards the end. What? Anyone say now? Have you? Lukman wants to speak. Lukman, you have to drag me.
I'm not gathering anybody. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Yeah, in our mind.
I said that we just sit back and listen to everybody talk today. And the get take over I got from this whole kid is that with everything or anything you do, you're women.
Like, Lukman, firstly, hold on. Lukman, firstly, next week, don't try what you tried today. And secondly, what do you mean by fair women? What do you mean desire to sit back and let everyone speak? What feedback next week?
Glory put up to me without me. I'll be dragging it like that.
More Jen. So what do you mean by fair women?
And I'm coming to that. October. This is the guy do bad thing. You put it on your brother. I'm going to visit your brother. Yeah.
I was the one that had to take the fall now. It wasn't like me. I'm sorry.
And it can't be you.
Yeah, that brother. You need another brother or another brother.
It's my elder brother now.
You see that look like you line it together.
But then if he wasn't taking the meat too, he would have said he wasn't the one. But because he was always accepting it, then he was also taking.
But you,
I'm telling you, you're trying to justify lying against your brother.
No, that he was taking too now. I'm just saying, like, it wasn't me actually, it was him, and then he took it. So,
but you all know who was fixing to go with you.
I don't know, it wasn't real.
Then all my people.
Yeah, okay, sorry, can I ask you a closing question from them? Do you think, however a child turns out, whether good or bad, is totally dependent on the type of he got from his or her parents? Do you think, however a child turns out, is totally, that's completely dependent on how he was trained, like the type of discipline he got? Yes, after that.
No.
Lukman is answering that for us.
Okay, so no, why this?
I'll say no 10 times.
Why you're written?
Because firstly, I come from a home where I had like 10 cousins with me. Then my dad was a strict disciplinarian, and everybody wants to be forming power over you. So if you do one bad thing, everybody wants to beat you and stuff. And I still can't remember one thing that I was doing then that I'm not doing now that I stopped because of beating. I can't remember one thing. It's either I just got tired of it, like maybe I didn't see the value of it. And I'm still seeing people that I know that their father is a soldier. Like this one, they are twins. Their father is a soldier. He locks them up in their room, steady for their punishments. So, one of them now, I don't know. Do you see that boy? Like he's an arm robber, but I can't say. But he's doing bad things, very very bad things. He has like 6 or so baby mamas.
Oh, you can have till now. What's pretty rich?
Rich go. I call that rich.
Well, Lukman, why do you have to chip it in that you have like 6 baby mamas?
If you're responsible, you don't have 6 baby mamas. All of them are like.
Okay, don't you think it's time for us to close this space now? I feel like we've taken so much of everyone's time.
Yeah, we almost so I guess we should put it now.
Well, somebody's network. Okay, thank you so much for always joining in, supporting us.
Yeah.
So if you check the chat box, you'll see a link. There's a link to our YouTube channel that we just newly created. Please subscribe. Thank you so much. Thank you, Hayes, for staying to the end. Look, man, you already know we love you from the bottom of our heart.
Yeah.
You subscribe to our channel. All right, so everybody, enjoy the rest of your night. Have a lovely night.
Bye.
Catch you same time, same place next week. Bye.